G'day guys and welcome back to GNs_gaming for another Dokkan battle video. So for today's video we're over on Dokkan info because we got the data download earlier today and we got some extra information from that. So we found out that we are going to be getting super EZAs for the physical blue Vegito as well as the AGL Rose. Now Dokkan did end up tweeting these out, but honestly Dokkan info got to them first from the data download, so definitely thought it was worthwhile checking out their kit. From what I've heard on Twitter, they both look to be absolutely insane. So we'll start off with the Blue Vegito. Obviously, he's going to be a very, very popular unit. You can see the difference with him compared to a lot of these Super EZAs so far is that he does have a super attack effect, and 50% attack and defense is fire, because even back in the day, he was always able to perform a lot of additional supers. So also worth noting, his Super EZA doesn't actually have the release date listed here. Cool. Okay, but know that it is coming. So for his passive now, it becomes 2 key, 200% attack and defense, 20% damage reduction. So starting off on the damage reduction train, we love that. Launches 2 additional attacks, each which has a 50% chance of becoming a super. Lovely. And then we've got one of my favorites. Randomly changes key of a certain type to rainbow key spheres. If you've been following the channel for a while, you know that I absolutely love rainbow orb changes and support. So that's a big tick on my page. I can already see myself using this guy a lot. So when attacking, we get 150% attack and defense. For every attack performed, we get 30% attack. So he can do 2 supers there, so potentially 4 super attacks. I wonder if that probably does include his counters. So I wonder if his counters get juiced up, sort of like Tech Vegito does. I think it probably does. So that could get pretty nutty there. When receiving a normal attack, he's got 60% damage reduction and counters with tremendous power. So against normals, he's got 80% damage reduction with countering. Nice. When receiving a super attack, so that was some of that was, I can't remember what the number was beforehand, but that's not all new. But he now has ability when receiving a super attack, he's got a 50% chance to dodge the super. Okay, cool. And then chance of evading enemy's attack plus 30% temporarily when HP is 70% or less. I'm not sure how often you're going to see that, but if you're below 70% HP, 80% chance to dodge super is going to be pretty fire. When all allies attacking in the same turn are super, or if there is a Future Saga ally attacking the same turn. So that's going to be really, really easy to fulfill. His attacks are effective against all type. Or 2-turn support, 40% attack and defense for super class allies. That's sick. As I just said before, all changes and supports are my favorites. This guy is literally the double whammy. And then he also boosts extreme class allies for the 1 turn. So even if you are rocking this guy with the new Rose and Zamasu, he's going to be giving them support as well. I think he's going to be absolutely insane. He doesn't have any crit, but I'm pretty sure I already have him built with a full crit build anyway. I don't know, I'll have to watch some showcases for this guy, but I think he's going to be absolutely insane. There is not much that he doesn't do. Wow, that is a very good Super EZA, so can't wait till he drops in game. And then we've got Rose. So the standard has been set extremely high here. Let's see if they follow that up with Rose. So again, we've got a super attack effect here, so greatly raising defense, which is a 50% buff. Very, very impactful. Additionals will probably be really, really good on this guy. So, okay, similarities here. We've got attack and defense 200% plus the 20% damage reduction, so that's the same as Vegito Blue. All allies 3 key and 30% attack and defense. I feel like he was only extreme class previously, so that's a good boost right there. And then he launches an additional super. So straight off the bat, if you're having this hidden potential with additional supers, with additionals, you could get 3 supers, so 3 50% buffs. When receiving an attack, he gets a 200% defense and then an additional defense 100% when HP is 70% or less. I wonder what made them think of the 70% or less number. It's definitely interesting. For every attack received, he gets attack 60% up to 300%. So that's 5 attacks, and you've got him fully built up there. Then he gets chance of performing a crit up 10% up to 50%. So again, 5 attacks. Damage reduction rate 25% within turns. So the first 2 attacks is when things could get a little bit dicey. But once that first 2 hit you, you're then going to be up to 70%. Yeah, combine those two, and that's 70%. Dang, that's nice for a support class unit. When all allies are extreme class characters, or there is a future saga ally, guard, he can get 70% damage reduction and guard. Wait, what? He gives super class allies 20% crit support, and then extreme class allies 20% crit for 2 turns. Yeah, I really like the look of these 2 super EZAs. Dang, yeah, I think they have really cooked. They really had to for the AGL Rose A2 because Zamasu's really going to be lacking options and friends. So the fact that they've really done a good job of this guy, I think, like at the moment, I dare say he's probably the Rose Zamasu's best friend. So yeah, that's a good start right there. From the data download, we did also find out that we're going to be getting a super EZA for the free-to-play Zamasu Goku. So let's see what they gave him here. Wow, that's a pretty extensive passive. So 12, obviously super attacks don't change. So 12 key, we don't get any attack and defense, but on the 18 key, we do get a 30% attack and defense for 1 turn. And then we jump into the passives. So we get 159% attack and defense. Change physical to STR key spheres, so he is an orb changer, which is nice. We get an additional attack that has a 50% chance of becoming super. Not the craziest because he, as we said before, he doesn't get any defense on his super, so that's not going to be the most impactful thing in the world. He launched then debuffs superclass ally enemies 30% attack and defense, which is a bit of a nothing ability. Ooh, I love this though. As I've said, supports are my favourite, and 40% attack and defense is definitely nice. So for his first 4 turns, you've got the 20% damage reduction, which is a little bit of a start, so that's not too bad there. When there is a future saga enemy, or when all allies in the same turn are extreme, so you have to run this guy on a full extreme class team potentially. You get 3 key, chance of performing a crit and damage reduction 40%. Okay, so 60% damage reduction between those two, which is not bad. Launches additional super, as I said, that doesn't really do a great deal for us. For every attack received, we get 2 key up to 10. When attacking with 12 or more key, 159% attack and defense. 18 or more keys, 159% defense again. So you're getting up some pretty good stats there. When the target enemy is in the following status, HP is so HP 59% or less. Attack down or defense down, you get an extra 159% attack and defense, and you perform a guaranteed crit. So obviously no need to do any crit in this guy's hidden potential. I don't think additionals offer a crazy amount of value either, so I think a full dodge build is going to be probably the way to go with this guy. And then after delivering a final blow, he gets attack and defense and chance to dodge 59%. Okay, so we get some more defensive utility with that. Nice. Yeah, I do like that. Just looking, linking, and we've got 5 links with the new Zamasu, so that probably means 4 with the Rose. Nice. For a free-to-play Super EZA, I think he's going to be a really valuable sort of... He's definitely going to be a floater. He's probably like your 5th or 6th option on the team. But he's got support, he's got orb changing, he's got a little bit of damage reduction, and then potential dodge there as well. Yeah, I think this guy could be really, really useful. So, yeah, you love to see it. I think his art still looks really sick. We also got the banner unit tweeted out. I don't really understand this choice because I did have a look at this Champa. He's not on either of the new units' leader skills, so honestly, I have zero idea what they were thinking by choosing him. His kit doesn't really, like, it's not even relevant to me because, yeah, why would you be releasing a banner unit that doesn't help either of the new units? But anyway, so we got Champa here. He's a Realm of God Universe 6, 130. He's greatly raises attack and defense, and then greatly lowers attack on super attack effects. So he does have a really, really good super attack effect there. For his passive, we've got attack and defense 166%, chance of performing a crit and damage reduction 22%. So we've got a good baseline there. Realm of Gods or Universe 6 category allies, 2 key, 66% attack and defense. Can you imagine if this was a new, I don't know, a new Gaosu, and it was Realm of Gods or future category allies, 2 key and 66% defense? That would have been so impactful instead, or even a new Maya. But instead, we've got this. So obviously this guy on Kale hits teams going to be really, really powerful. When all allies attacking the same turn of a Realm of Gods or Universe 6, he gets 166% attack, another 22% chance to crit and damage reduction, so that takes that to 44. Randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to rainbow, and then for every key sphere obtained with a maximum of 6 keys is going to get you 666% defense. Dang. That is going to be pretty nutty. And wow. And with 6 or more keys obtained, you get another 22% chance to crit and damage reduction. So you're going to have 66% damage reduction. You get that 666% buff there. And then when attacking with 12 or more key, you get 6% chance of, wow, if that triggers, that is going to be so insane. But then you've got a 66% chance of that, so 2 out of 3. Look, I have absolutely no doubt that on his turn, this Champa is going to be absolutely insane. It just makes me really sad that this wasn't like a Gaosu or some type of support class unit for Future and Realm of Gods. I think that would have been much better suited. But anyways, is what it is. He does look to be really, really good. And then over on Dokkan info here, you can check out all of the new units that were included on the data download. And I can't remember if it was this one or this one. We are getting a bunch of free-to-play Rose clones. And one of them I really liked the look of. No, not that one. It must be this one. No, was that literally just the one I clicked on? Am I going insane? Because they are... I can't remember. I don't know. So anyway, maybe they are the same. I should have gone through this a little bit better. But what I wanted to showcase here was... So we'll go through this one in particular's kit. They greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn, cause supreme damage, and raise allies' defense by 15% for 2 turns. Very, very powerful. You throw that on as a floater, and that's going to really, really cook. Yes, this is the one actually I was looking for, so perfect. As a second and third attacker at the start of turn, change tech into key spheres. Per Future Saga category ally on the team, you get the 40% attack and defense, and then all allies attack and defense 8% up to 40%. So we can provide that 15% support on super, and then also a 40% attack and defense right here. Per Future Saga category ally whose name includes clone, you get 20% attack and defense up to 100, but then also all allies get the additional 6% attack and defense. So depending on how far you want to go with that, you could get that up to 70% support. Personally, I don't think it's probably going to be worth doing that. I think just rolling with this 40% would probably be good enough, if I'm being honest. When the team includes all 5 extreme class units, you get 150% attack and defense and this is what's really impactful. So the ability to foresee a super, I think that's going to be really powerful. With one or more key sphere obtained, you get 10% heal, and then when attacking with 12 or more key, you guarantee guard and get an additional 200% attack and defense. So just wanted to mention this guy. If you're sort of struggling to fill out the extreme class teams for Zamasu, he could be a really good option. But make sure that you do grind all those up. I'm sure rocking this free-to-play team is going to be really necessary going in for whether it's a support memory mission or maybe some free-to-play content that we have to roll with. So make sure you get these done when they do drop. But let me know your thoughts on the EZAs that are upcoming down below. I think the 2 super EZAs are just going to be absolutely insane, so I can't wait. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to keep up with the content, and hopefully I'll catch you all on the next video.